How's it going, everybody? The NFL playoffs have begun. They're underway now. Yeah, I know the Raiders aren't in it, but why not talk about it? It's still relevant. I got my NFL hat with every single team's logo on it, so I thought it would make sense to wear it, right? It's a little bit tight, but who cares? So I'm going to talk about the games in order that they were played. Just putting it out there, I was 3 for 3 on predictions. Me and Chiefs Rays Bolts and YouTube channel, we did a live stream last night. We did we had a discussion, and we kind of made our predictions. I was actually 3 for 3, just putting it out there. So these games went as expected for me. There was one upset. We'll get to that in a bit. And yeah, so first game was the Buffalo Bills and the Indianapolis Colts. This game was in the morning for me, around 10 a.m. So had to get up early to watch it. And I thought this was gonna be a close game, but this was definitely. It went down to the final seconds. I thought it would be interesting to see Phillip Rivers, succeed in the playoffs. He had 300 yards passing. He had a good game. I mean, no interceptions. Pretty good game for him. Nyheim Hines and Jonathan Taylor both contributed on the rushing game. But, Buffalo's a great team. I have them winning the Super Bowl. Josh Allen, 324 yards passing. Just great. Stephon Diggs, leading receiver. And yeah, the Buffalo Bills win by a final score of 27-24 in Buffalo, the first playoff win in a quarter of a century since I believe it was 1995. So interesting. Happy for Buffalo. They had a pretty good game. Like I said, it came down to the final. Buffalo was actually up by a decent amount in the fourth, and then Indy kind of caught up a little bit. And on the final drive, they couldn't punch it in for a field goal or a touchdown. So a Hail Mary at the end. They had an attempt at that, but yeah, there were some calls that people were questioning about, but besides that, pretty good game. Next game was the Los Angeles Rams versus the Seahawks. I had the Rams winning this, and I was right. I was rooting for the Rams. The Rams I kind of consider my second favorite team, so I was happy they won that. So basically, this game was pretty action-filled. So basically, as you guys know, John Wolford was the starter for this game. He filled in for Jared Goff when Jared Goff dislocated his thumb or his finger or whatever. And Goff had surgery, so they thought 12 days after surgery wasn't the safest option to put Jared in. So Wolford actually was doing all right. He was with the Rams with the first 2 possessions, but then unfortunately there was kind of a dirty hit by Jamal Adams on the Seahawks defense that really it looked painful. His neck got all messed up. So Jared Goff came in, and only 19 attempts, but 155 yards. The Rams won by 10. And Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf, the 2 players that are arguably the best players on the Seahawks, if not, they didn't play well. And it was unfortunate for them. A pick 6 was probably the best play of the game for the Rams. The Rams defense is amazing. The Rams did have some injuries, but besides Wolford, Cooper Kupp got a little bit injured at the end, and Aaron Donald took a little bit of a hit. But besides that, the Rams did good. Robert Woods didn't really play too well, so they're probably going to try to get that in the divisional round, whoever they play. And yeah, Rams defense was great. I believe Aaron Donald had 3 sacks. Yep, 3 sacks. Or sorry, 2 sacks, my bad. 2 sacks for Aaron Donald. As for the Seahawks, an interception for Russ. He only completed 11 of 27 passes. And like I said, he had a pick 6. And DK Metcalf, who was their star receiver, he did all right. He had 5 receptions. He had that good touchdown, and then he had the late touchdown. But yeah, besides that, nothing really generated for the Hawks. And yeah, final score was 30-20. Los Angeles Rams, and just a good, in my opinion, to see them win that. So the last game was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Washington Football Team. This game, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's a blowout." Oh, even though Washington had home field advantage, it didn't matter. People were saying like, "Oh, it's gonna be a bloodbath." Taylor Heineke, was the. I believe, okay, some people were saying he's the 4th-string QB. I don't know exactly which position on QB he was, but dude was insane. 300 yards passing, a touchdown. He had an insane rushing touchdown. And, like Washington only lost by 8 points. Like, the final score is 31-23. And he's a pretty good mobile quarterback. So this dude, a lot of people are saying like he was the player of the game. But Buccaneers won it. Tom Brady, you know, it's playoff Tom Brady. You can't really defy him. Mike Evans had 119. He was yards. He was actually questionable for this game. So interesting to see him out there. And the Buccaneers defense played pretty well with Levante David was probably the leader out there on defense. And yeah, I mean, it was a good game out there. I mean, only an 8-point game. It really came down to the final drive. There was a questionable call whether the receiver fumbled it or was an incomplete pass, but I got to give credit to Heineke. I mean, crazy, almost like a Cinderella story. If he would have won this game, that would have been really awesome. But, you know, Tampa Bay, good team. So we'll see what happens. That does it for all the games. If you have any thoughts, concerns, opinions, leave them in the comments. And tomorrow we have more games. And I am very excited, especially for Browns-Steelers. I think the Steelers will win, but it's a rivalry. You never know what's going to happen. Thanks, guys, so much. A's, Raiders, Dubs, Sharks. Thank you, guys. And Wild Card Weekend.